So I have absolutely no idea what the fuck I just watched. Yeah, not even gonna do an intro for this. That's just how I feel. I have no idea what the fuck I just watched. But, in case you want to know, let's get to the plot summary. So, remember Party Thor? Yeah, you remember him, right? Back in Season 1, he was a version of Thor from a universe where, when Odin conquered Laufey and the Frost Giants, he wound up returning, instead of taking the little baby Loki and raising him as his own child, he instead returned Loki to the Frost Giants, and Loki was raised by them, and as a result, Thor was an only child growing up. He grew up into a party animal, and the events of that episode resulted in him pretty much just bringing the entirety of the universe to Earth, just so he could party hard and have fun. It wound up ending because S.H.I.E.L.D. deemed Thor a potential threat because the last party he had apparently destroyed a comet, even though apparently the comet was already being destroyed and Thor's parties accelerated it. And so, thankfully, thanks to the intervention of Jane Foster calling Thor's mom, S.H.I.E.L.D. was able to basically call off their strike, so to speak. And while Thor was a little miffed that Jane told on him, he still liked her, and they continued dating, and Thor wound up joining the Guardians of the Multiverse to fight Infinite Ultron. So, there you go. We remember that world, right? Well, much like in Season 2 with What If Captain Carter Fought the Hydra Stomper, or whatever the hell the episode was called, this episode that we're looking at today is another sequel episode, so to speak, as this episode does take place in Party Thor's universe. But it doesn't focus on Party Thor. No. It's focusing on Darcy Lewis and Howard the Duck. So, if you go back and watch that episode, one of the background gags that happened in the episode was that in the midst of the party, Darcy and Howard got married. It was a Vegas wedding with an Elvis impersonator acting as the officiator, but they got married. And apparently, that stayed canon. They didn't get divorced. It wasn't something they regretted later. No, they stayed married. And they had a kid. I am going to reiterate that. A human woman had a child with an anthropomorphic talking duck. And apparently, here's the best part. The baby, despite Darcy pushing it out, is in an egg. It's not technically born yet. So, yeah. Darcy and Howard are still expecting parents, even though Darcy's not carrying this kid anymore, as the egg is yet to hatch and all that. But apparently, this kid is uber important, because everybody in the universe wants this egg. Why? Because on the day that Darcy gave birth, air quotes there, apparently there was a big cosmic convergence of planets, and according to some prophecy written in the stars, a child born when the cosmic convergence occurred would be this super uber powerful cosmic level ultra powerful being that could potentially be the deciding factor in a large cosmic clash. And as you can probably, and that kid is Darcy and Howard's child. And so everybody in the universe that's worth a damn wants to get this kid. There is Caecilius from the Doctor Strange movie, as he and his Dark Order want to get the kid so he can act as a vessel for Dormammu. There is the Frost Giants, who want the kid because they think that having this kid on their side could be the deciding factor in them in them reestablishing themselves across the universe and restoring Jotunheim to its former glory. There's the Dark Elves who want the kids' power so they can rise to power and coat the universe in darkness. And you got Thanos and his cadre of weirdos who learn that the baby is magical, and so they decide to want it. You got Shield, who wants to try and take the baby in because they don't think that Darcy and Howard are fit parents to raise a kid like that. And you got the Grandmaster, who doesn't give a shit about any of this cosmic stuff. He just wants the egg so he can make a very expensive omelet. It's all over the place. Also, Zeus wants the baby. He wants it for the same reason as most of them. I just forgot him in the lineup. Point is, everybody wants this kid, and of course, Darcy and Howard are willing to let a bunch of weirdos with cosmic powers and grandiose names to have their child, and so the entire episode is them constantly running away from everyone, going from every corner of the universe they can, just to make sure that nobody can get this kid, and holy fuck nuggets, it's a mess! Like, oh my god, it's a mess! It's just like they go on a, like, how this event even got started was because the Grandmaster invited them on a cruise and they didn't know that their kid was gonna be an omelet, but boom! He's right there at their brunch, so go and save the kid. But oh wait, actually no, they don't save the kid. It gets kidnapped by Yondu, who brings it to Caecilius, who ousted the Collector, and then they infiltrate that ceremony. Then there's Shield, because Darcy and Howard called them to get their kid back, and then when they get the kid back, they hide on Yondu. I'm doing a regular plot summary like I normally do, but they go to Jotunheim because Loki's a pal of theirs, so maybe that'll help. But then oh no, Laufey wants the kid, and then everybody converges on this place. Howard and Darcy run for it, but when they realize they're cornered, have nowhere to go, the egg containing their baby starts glowing cosmic whatever when they start singing a song. Which, give me 1 second. Howard and Darcy were singing "I Was Made for Loving You," which apparently a baby likes. Somehow this unlocks its weird cosmic whatever as the egg starts discharging energy and blasting people back. They get outnumbered, but the egg suddenly fucking explodes and pretty much kills everybody on the scene. Well, most everybody. There are some people that are spared because they hid behind a rock or ran away. But likewise, from there, the egg hatches and we are introduced to Darcy and Howard's kid proper. Her name is Birdie. She looks like a half human, half bird hybrid, as she has wings on her head, weird eyes, a slightly misshapen head, but for the most part she looks cute, I'll give you credit. And at this point, Nick Fury realizes that maybe it's best to let the kid stay with her parents, especially if she has that kind of potential, and they were still willing to fight for her, and even managed to invoke a reaction from her singing that song. As a result, they leave, and Howard and Darcy, despite the fact that Loki and Laufey offer them an apology stay at a resort that Loki's trying to get off the ground, they just go home to raise their kid. Like I said, I have no idea what the hell I watched. This episode, I don't know what to think of this episode. Like, I was already iffy regarding this episode because I learned that as a consequence of Darcy and Howard getting married in the Party Thor episode in season 1 resulted in them having a kid. Again, human woman, anthropomorphic duck. I don't want to know how that works. I don't want to know how that works, but you're making me ask questions that I don't really want to know the answers to, episode, so who thought this was a good idea? I'd like to know who that person is, please, because I guarantee you I would have words with them, because I genuinely would like to know this thing, but and it wasn't just like a one-time thing, like a blink and you miss it, the reference. No. The episode opens with Darcy giving birth to this thing, which is being recorded on a camcorder, and then the rest of the episode focuses on it. And I'm just sitting here thinking, oh my god, you really are going all in on this, aren't you? But it just keeps going. It just keeps going. Things just go all over the map. The instant the Grand Master sees the egg, he gets it all in place and immediately gets Howard and Darcy to agree to let him have the egg, but he offers to put it in a nursery, only revealing that he's planning to have it for brunch when they're actually at the brunch. And then that's when Yondu arrives, and that's when we get to Caecilius and his crew, and then which leads to S.H.I.E.L.D. interrupting that ritual, again, I went all right in the plot summary. It's like the episode is just all over the map, and it tries grabbing as many corners of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as it can, and just pulls them all together into this weird, clustery center. It's just it's just so much, so insane, and I'm just sitting here thinking, what the fuck is happening here right now? And ironically, I think that's what the episode was going for. I was kind of looking at everything, and I can't say I was hating my time, but the center focus was still Howard, Darcy, and their hybrid child, who's apparently the fucking cosmic messiah. Because and I'm still thinking, this is still the center of the story, and I still find it weird. I'm not saying that people can't love who they love. Whoever you love, fine. But I want to reiterate. Human woman, anthropomorphic duck. I don't want to know how that circle fits in the square, okay? I don't want to know that. And the fact that this child exists, it makes me ask questions I don't want to know. But the child is the center focus, and apparently later in What If, this child has a bigger focus as well. So I'm just kind of sitting here thinking, why? Maybe later on I'll be able to ignore where the child came from. Because that's like a big thing I can't just get over. Because it's so many questions that I genuinely did not want to know the answer to at all, at any point. It's just so strange, and yet from this one thing that makes me go, no, there's so much weirdness surrounding it that I kind of get invested. This episode just hits the ground running and does not stop for a single second. From the instant that Howard and Darcy hand their egg over to the Grandmaster, it's just jumping from one thing to the next, and there is no subtlety. Everybody's going all over the map, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't find it fun. When Nick Fury got called in, when Howard and Darcy called in Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. so they could help him get their kid back, hearing Samuel L. Jackson kind of ham it up a little. I kind of liked that. The Grandmaster and his weird eccentricities are still there, though he's not played by Jeff Goldblum in this episode, which I think kind of sucked, considering that they were able to get him back from previous appearances, but not this one. Or seeing fucking Malekith and Doctor Strange, which kind of weird that he came back, but hey, alternate universe, whatever. And see him essentially try to pull a Ghostbusters 2 with their baby, just Yeah, and then more armies show, and then there's the climax, and all these armies converging, and then when the baby starts showing, and then when the egg is starting to show its cosmic power, everyone's all in awe, like, oh, it's amazing, it's beautiful, just like the prophecy says. Let's get it! This is all started because Howard and Darcy were singing, I was made for loving you, and yeah. Making noises at this point, and yet at the same time, it's just so weird. It's just kind of just so weird, and they still try to keep the emotional focus on Darcy, Howard, and this child. And again, the fact that this is the center focus of the episode is just weird. It's just so strange, and despite the fact that they're trying to make us feel sorry for them, I'm just kind of here thinking again. I'm reiterating my point many times, like human woman, Howard the Duck. It just kind of feels so strange, and they expect us to kind of take it a little seriously, which I don't. I'll give credit where it's due, though. Howard and Darcy are actually have a good dynamic with each other. These are two characters who existed for comic relief, so to speak, and their brands of comedy actually do work well off of each other. Darcy's quick wit and attitude definitely kind of meshes well with Howard's just kind of roll with the punches, kind of jackass behavior. It does actually work for comedic timing. And like I said, adding on to and combining that with all the insanity going wrong with all the people wanting to go after their kid, it definitely can get you some laughs. So I can say in this regard, the episode is succeeding in what it's trying to do. It's just that the center of what it's trying to do is still something that makes me go, why? So, I don't know. When it comes down to it, I don't know what, I don't really know what to say about this episode. I can't say I had a bad time watching it, but by the end, I'm still going, what the hell? I don't know, I don't know, it's a weird feeling. I don't know what to think about this episode. It's not bad in what it set out to do, but what it set out to do was just so odd and strange and all over the map. And maybe that's what they were going for. And if that's the case, good on you, people. Good on you, Marvel. You made me go, what the hell? So, kudos to you, I guess. So I don't really know. If I can give credit where it's due, again, besides, like, there are others, like, the main strengths of the episode are just how insane it is. But another thing I kind of like is that because this is a follow-up to the Party Thor episode, we got some world building. Going back to the what if Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper episode. In that episode, we were able to get follow-up on certain things that were addressed in the original Captain Carter episode, like the fate of Steve Rogers, how S.H.I.E.L.D. was like, what happened to Bucky in a world where he never became the Winter Soldier, and likewise what happened in the Red Room, and learning that Melina wound up taking it over in that continuity, and so on and so forth. But in this episode, we're seeing what I like about this episode is that we're seeing how the world was affected because of Thor's actions. Because the thing is, when Thor invited literally the entire universe to Earth didn't lose the entire universe's number. Basically, Earth is now a part of the grander cosmic community, so to speak, and it's led to an exchange of ideas, technology, people going out into space, enjoying themselves. Basically, it's allowed Earth to kind of advance because it's now a part of the greater cosmic whole, and I kind of like that. I like seeing that grow. It's some nice world building and seeing how it advances. And likewise, again, like I said, since we saw Loki here, we get to see more there. And again, that's actually some good comedy gold there. And going back to how insane everything is in the episode, it is so cool to see all these different aspects of the MCU crossing over and just kind of clashing with one another just because they want this big cosmic MacGuffin in the form of this egg. So I do kind of find that interesting. So I do kind of like that. And they also give credit where it's due. While I question the existence of Birdie in every sense of the word, Birdie is once again another original character that was created specifically for What If. So in that regard, I am kind of interested to see what Birdie could potentially do, as long as I continue to ignore how she was conceived. So I'll give you that. And like I said, in later episodes, apparently she is important. So I can at least cross my fingers and hopefully she'll be an interesting addition. So with that said, again, my thoughts on this episode are just, it's an entity that exists. I can't say I hated it. I definitely had fun. But I still look at this and go, the fuck did I just watch? And if I would choose to watch it again, it might just be because I want to see insanity and just whatever bullshittery the episode continued throwing at me. Again, not a bad episode on a technical level. It probably achieved what the creators set out to do for it. But what they set out to do definitely makes me go, why? So, take that for what it's worth. Because that's all I'm giving. That's all I can give, and that's all I'm gonna say. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next week, because next week we're gonna have a kind of probably a darker episode to offset whatever the hell just happened in this episode. So until then, I'm Samuel Johnson, and I hope to see you next week, where I'll probably be more coherent or less coherent, because let's be honest, these vlogs are nuts. So till then, I hope you have a good night and take care.